Kyle Tucker signing with the LA Dodgers for a 4-year, $280 million deal. And listen.
Why is everyone melting over this?
Just I will explain. But before you tune out because it's baseball, I do want to get your opinion on something
What? Wait,
because I don't
Jess,
want to.
hold on, Daniel. I'm sorry. Why are we melting?
I understand they have everyone. They have. This was the same
Jess.
anger that
No,
people had
no, no.
against the
Wait.
Yankees
Hang on,
years
hang on.
ago when
Jess.
when
Just
Steinbrenner was
wait,
sending.
wait, 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 wait. Let me set this up
Set it up.
Okay.
because I do want to talk about this, but I want to go in a certain direction with it because I think
Okay.
it ties into what you're saying, right? I don't
Okay.
want to talk about the fact that the Dodgers got him. I don't want to talk about the fact that the Mets lost out to him. This is gonna come down to one simple situation. It's the fact that the Dodgers continue to spend an absurd amount of money. And everybody's going to get on the weaker teams, the less salary, the teams that don't spend a lot of money, saying, oh, why don't this owner spend the money? Why can't he spend the money? Why don't the Pirates spend the money? Who in their right mind is going to pay $70 million for a player? Okay? The Dodgers payroll is $2.1 billion. That's more than some franchises are worth. So before we get on them for how much they're paying, why are they paying so much? So it leads to the conversation. The CBA is coming up. There's going to be a negotiation this year. They should be implementing very soon, because this needs to happen, in my opinion, a salary cap and a salary floor. Because you cannot make the argument that these teams who are not spending the money should be spending the money when these owners just don't have the money. And I get it, they're billionaires, they're trillionaires. But they also have a finite resource. They're not going to spend $70 million on players. That's not going to happen. So at some point, there needs to be a cap into how much teams are actually going to spend on players. And you know what? As fans, we'll take the player's side. We always do. But at some point, for the game to be competitive and for baseball to stay relevant, these teams need to have a limit into how much they can actually spend on players. Because what's going on with LA and what they're doing with Otani and deferred money and all these players is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand and it needs to stop. Go ahead.
Well, Louis, do you want to go first? I don't care. Do you want to go first?
Fair enough.
You know baseball better.
Yeah. It's just getting fucking ridiculous at this point. Everybody and their mother is. I feel like there is like 7 or 8 teams that are getting mostly all the good players. Now, getting good players in baseball doesn't mean you'll win, because that's baseball. Baseball is one of those sports where you can have the best lineup, still get fucking blown out, still get destroyed, still get dominated in pitching, still get dominated in hitting. But it gives you a way better chance if you didn't. A way better chance when you have these elite guys, these MVP level guys. When you look at the Dodgers roster, this is an all-star team. It's not like these guys are homegrown. It's not like these guys come up from a farm system and then become great and then get paid. These guys grow somewhere else, leave because the owners ain't going to spend that money, and go where the money's at, which I don't mind. I love it when players get paid, right? Get your money up, King. All for it, right? But in competitiveness in a league, there has to be some cap. Whatever the cap is, we can fucking talk about. We can see what the floor is, how much they're supposed to spend versus how much they can. It's just getting fucking... And deferred money. You motherfuckers. Deferred money? That's the biggest fucking bullshit there. Because guess what the Yankees were back in the day? Guess what they weren't doing? Deferring money. They weren't
They were
doing
paying up front.
They were
weren't
paying up front. I haven't heard of deferred
That's
money
real money.
since the Dodgers.
That they had real money.
I haven't heard of that shit. So I could be wrong, but I never heard of deferred money when it comes to the Yankees. Never heard of it. Ever. So it's... I just... I need to collect my thoughts. Daniel, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just anything you wanted to add before I continue?
Yeah, because this is all I really have to say about it. I said the first thing that I was going to say is that, just because they have this lineup doesn't mean they'll be good. That's also happened to the Yankees. They have collected everybody and still found a way to lose. So it's it's not necessarily like a written in stone thing that they're just going to automatically be successful because they have everyone at the same time. Because first of all, to make a good team, you have to know how to play with each other. Like you have to know, like, who's to say that they're going to be a good team next year? It may, I mean, I don't know, but also this may be the event that finally makes baseball do the salary floor or the salary cap, because one owner can't have them all. How many shortstops can he have? How many third basemen can he have? How many people can he have? Like he can't they can't have everyone. So other people have to pay players, other big players. I think maybe this is the time that owners say, "Okay, enough's enough. We're not going to be paying people this crazy amount of money. In this economy, absolutely not. Especially when baseball has is trying to regain its footing and like viewership where revenue counts. So it's like, okay, LA, you're a huge market, and it's in the culture in LA, but that's not with every market. So it definitely creates a huge imbalance, and the imbalance always leads to correction. So I think when's the next CBA agreement?
Literally in 2 months. We are negotiating. They're negotiating. They might be a lockout. This is how bad it could
I
get.
mean, there could be a lockout, but I feel like, and I know the baseball union is probably the strongest out of the major leagues, but the owners may be okay with a lockout because I am not paying $700 million to one fucking player. Like, you guys can bitch and moan all you want. I have other investments. I have other portfolios. Like, I don't care. Like, I think that may be the attitude. So I'm sure the owners will get their way in this. Like, because that's just it's too much. It's too much of an imbalance because this is, and through the year, I remember when A Rod got paid one of the biggest contracts, and it was like 2000 when I think it was when the Rangers got him. It was like, oh my God, when does it stop? Is this the beginning? Like $250 million for one player. That was a lot back then. And now it's jump ahead. It's this one guy's getting 700 million, and then this next guy's getting 100 million on the same team.
And then
But it wasn't
there's
as
more guys
astronomical.
as well. There's a lot of guys on that Dodgers team that are getting
Yeah. So
paid out the ass.
yeah. So I think other team owners are finally going to be like, okay, enough's enough. We will agree with at least a salary floor. Like, we will agree to start paying players this much to remain competitive. And we'll still leave it up to our personal discretion if we decide this guy should get 300 million. But we will at least pay him 90 million. That has to happen. I think agree to a salary floor, not a salary cap. If you want to keep the tradition going of no salary cap, get a salary floor.
So, two
I'm-
things I want to say real quick. Here's part. So the Mets were in on Tucker. They were. Here's the funny part. They offered him a 4-year, $240 million deal. Here's what they did. They gave him an opt out after the second year. They were willing to give him 70 million the first 2 years and then 60 the last two, with no deferred money. And what did the Dodgers do? They wanted to defer money. And ultimately, that's the deal breaker. And again, it's not like teams can't do it. I'm not saying they can't. For economic sake and for the sake of the longevity of your team, it's not economically responsible to do that, right? So Kyle Tucker getting whatever it is, and Kyle Tucker, again, I don't think he's a $7 million player. I don't. If we're talking logistics, he's probably worth 40 to 50 million, and that's fair. That's fine. And most teams probably value him at that. But when teams start valuing you at that, you get the big fish, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, who can offer just a little bit more. And all of a sudden, you're gone. You don't get a chance. It's over for you. Kyle Tucker's not even on your radar anymore because you can't afford him. And what has happened in recent years is that teams have been forced to find a different way to be competitive. And this is a credit to them. The Guardians, the Rays, the Tigers for a little bit, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox. They're not spending money out of the ass, and they're building up through their farm system, through their analytics. The Oakland Athletics could not spend money, so they legit turned to math on how to build a great team. And it worked.
Like a bunch of
It
nerds.
fucking worked. But it worked. And so nobody really batted an eye because there was a different way to win. But now we're at a point where that's not working anymore. And teams can't do that anymore. And now the teams that are rich are getting richer. And now we're adding to their lineup and making it even better. And the Dodgers have everything. Bullpen, pitching, lineup. It's like, why even go out there and play? Why try to be competitive when they're already great? That doesn't help your league. And if you just want it to be the MLBD, Major League Dodgers, fine. But who's going to watch it? Who's going to go to games? Who's going to say, yeah, I'm going to go watch the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight? We suck. You want to hear a crazy stat that I learned the other day? I think the last time the Pittsburgh Pirates signed a multi-year deal with any player was 2018. They haven't signed a free agent to a multi-year deal since like 2018.
That's crazy.
And again, it's not because they don't have the money. They do. It's that they don't want to spend it on players they know they can't get, and they're not going to overpay for players that they don't feel deserve it. And that's within their right. And they could bitch and moan when they lose players to bigger contracts that are getting paid money, but they feel they can't afford it. They can't meet the Mets' demands. They can't meet the Dodgers' demands. That's the business of baseball. And if we're going to play with 4 teams, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Red Sox, that's our league, guys. Let's go have fun. And if that's what Rob Manfred wants, that's what he's going to get. I think we need to, and again, it's going to hurt the players. And it sucks that it's going to hurt the players, but this needs to happen. It needs to change. We have to introduce a salary cap. Teams have to be able to have a limit of what they can spend and get paid, taxed heavily for it. Heavily. And then there has to be a floor. You have to be able to, Pittsburgh Pirates, Athletics, Tampa Bay Rays, you have to be willing to spend money. You can't just sit around and say, oh, we can't get him, he's too expensive. That can't happen. You still have to pay players a certain amount of money to either get to that salary floor or whatever it is. That needs to happen for baseball to get better. And I get it, you want to be different, traditional. It's all about history. It's all about legacy. I get that. But baseball needs a revamp. It's getting revamped already. Media deals are changing constantly. If we want this game to be sustainable to where it could be at a level where it's good and solid, we need a cap. All teams need to be competitive, not just 4. That's how this works. Look at the NFL. We had, 16 teams that could have made the playoffs this year. Or 20 teams could have made the playoffs this year very easily. Out of a 32-team league. That's great. That's awesome. Baseball has 4. That's not the sign of a healthy league. It's not. It's a dying league, if anything.
Yeah. I wanna propose, I guess, a number, right? So if we're going for the cap, let's talk about the cap first, because I think the cap is probably going to be the hardest thing to try to pinpoint, like where we want to cap at. So I'm looking at the rosters, like the tax payrolls, right? I'm looking at it. The Dodgers obviously have $1,413 million, $413 million on their payroll. The lowest payroll is the Miami Marlins at $100 million. Where do we want to put a salary cap, and why am I thinking $300 million?
I would say 350 or 325.
350 or 325?
That's where I was.
I don't mind that.
That's where I was.
I don't mind that. Now the floor.
150.
150? I don't mind that.
175. That's what I do. Your overall team should be about that.
Yeah.
And if the Dodgers, and if you get to like 400 million, heavy tax. or you lose a draft pick. Something has to be punishable here to make it not worth it. Like if you lose a first round pick and you need to develop a farm system, too bad.
Or it's like
You're paying for great players.
you can only go over the salary cap by a certain percentage if the player was in your farm system for X amount of time. If he came up with your team. I think maybe something like that could be arranged where like it incentivizes you to keep these good players. And you could pay you could go a little bit, just a touch above, a percentage above the salary cap because you're keeping these homegrown guys. So it's going to keep guys on the same teams, and it's also going to have players moving around to different teams because, this team can't pay you because they have guys already there. You're not going to be able to go there. Sorry. You have to go to another team who needs you and who can afford you. And, your salary's going to go down. Boo fucking who you're going to be making $30 million. I'm sorry. You're a millionaire. Suck it the fuck
And you know what it does? You know what it does too? It incentivizes players to be better.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hit 250 now to get that contract. You have to hit 20 home runs to get that contract. Runs are going to matter more. RBIs are going to matter more. Batting average is going to matter more. Because guys are hitting $200, $8 million because we can.
Yep.
It's going to incentivize players to be better and to really separate the best from the elite.
Yeah.
Or the good from the elite, whatever.
Yeah. And it would also eliminate fucking Scott Boras. You piece of work. Scott Boras.
That's a different video. Different fucking video. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Scott Boras anyway. Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
But we could talk about more when these meetings start. They got the February meetings, right? The winter meetings.
No, that happened already.
What happened already?
That was in December.
Well,
because guess what? Guess what? Another problem baseball has. We like to have our off season at our own time. At our own time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't have a set date that free agents can sign till. Whenever they want, because that's just baseball.
Oh yeah.
What?
Initiate that shit. You gotta fucking. This is the signing period.
Yeah, I agree. We should be done with free agency right now.
Yeah,
done.
And if you want to sign after this sign period, this is gonna be. It's a set salary now. It's a set. You cannot sign for more than that. It's the minimum now.
Pitchers and catchers report in 3 weeks. In 4 weeks, I'm sorry. Half the free agents still available. The marquee guys are gone, but there's still a lot of free agents available that don't have teams. We're in January 18th.
It's a fucking problem.
Fucking problem. NBA's done in 2 days. Isn't that funny? The NBA's free agency is done in 2 days.
NBA does that shit right.
NHL is done in a week.
NFL does that shit right too.
NFL is done in a day. A day. Everyone gets signed in a day.